So I got a couple of stories that I posted on here that I think might be related. So as you know, Trump is cutting a lot of federal aid right now. And on the surface level, it looks like he's just getting ready for tax cuts to fill in the blanks or whatever. But whenever I watch news stories, and I don't go out of my way to do so, but if they pop up for me, and I do view them for whatever my reasonings are, I don't take them at face value. I always apply what's going on in the world and what their agenda is for the elites that actually run everything, to try to read through the lines to see what's actually going on. And so I have a theory about this, about why all these cuts are happening and what is really going on. So let's watch a couple of clips, and at the end, I'll give my analysis of what I think is going on.
The Trump administration announced a sweeping freeze on all federal grants, funds already approved by Congress. Chief Washington correspondent John Karl is tracking Trump's executive action. John, the administration says this is just a temporary pause, but it could have major consequences.
George, look, there is a lot of confusion this morning about what exactly this directive means, but it may be the most far-reaching executive action this White House has taken yet. It could potentially halt hundreds of billions of dollars in federal spending on everything from assistance to farmers, to Head Start programs, to disaster relief and public transportation. In a memo describing this, it was obtained by ABC News, the White House Budget Office has ordered all federal agencies to cease any financial assistance if they believe the program might conflict with President Trump's executive orders. The directive is not specific about which programs would have to be suspended, but it's clearly far-reaching. It says, quote, this memorandum requires federal agencies to identify and review all federal financial assistance programs and supporting activities consistent with the president's policies and requirements. The only thing explicitly not included in this is Medicare and Social Security and anything directly given to individuals. But George, this is far-reaching. The Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer responded, one of many responding overnight, saying Congress approved these investments. They are not optional. They are the law. And you described it as a pause, George. It's important to point out this memo does not say how long the pause will last. There's nothing specifying when the pause is over.
Right, as you say, this could be have such sweeping impact.
Because, now I am basically out of luck for the rest of the month.
Millions of dollars are being stolen from Ohioans, and the federal government just stopped doing anything about it. We thank you for joining us today. For NBC4 at 5, I'm Jared Smalley.
I'm Colleen Marshall. People who rely on SNAP benefits, that's the program that used to be known as food stamps, are being targeted. And taxpayers are the victims, too.
Investigative reporter Isabel Cleary spoke to victims who are left helpless and hungry. Isabel?
Jared, Colleen, food stamp fraud has been around for a long time. What's different now is there's no longer help for people when it happens to them. Congress just stopped the program that reimburses people who have had their SNAP benefits stolen. And even if you don't rely on SNAP benefits, this impacts you because millions of government dollars are being stolen.
These are people who need these benefits to live.
Now, thousands are being targeted and having to find ways to survive without money they rely on for food.
Literally all I have to use. So when I went to the store the next day, it was all gone.
Caden Bickmeyer is 19. He went to the store to get some food for the day, but the card was declined.
It kind of hurt my feelings badly because that's all I had for that week.
He checked his account and heard this message.
A food assistance purchase in the amount of $220.95 was posted on January 7th.
The purchase made at a store in Massachusetts when Caden was in Columbus all day.
It happened in September.
Christopher Schwartzbeck also had his SNAP money stolen.
I had plans to go get meats, all the good stuff, and I checked my card at 6 in the morning and it was gone. As soon as it hit the account, it was gone by somebody in New York.
The same thing happened to Shadonna Collier.
I was embarrassed, for one, because I had a bunch of groceries up at the register, and I was devastated.
So I think this might be practice or actually hurting people to the goal right away. And eventually, one way or the other, what this is doing is preparing everybody for forcing them onto the mark. So, because no one will be able to buy or sell unless they have the mark, etc. And so I guess it looks like they're going to start off with the most vulnerable members of society first. They say, guess what? You know what? You want your food stamps, you want your Medicare or whatever it is, right? Well, we got that for you, but we got to get you to take this little old mark first. And so that's what's going to happen. So I guess it's easiest to start off with people who are poor and test it out there first. And then eventually they're going to lead everybody to the same place. So that's what's up. I'm not sure if this is like a practice run or what, but I think this is one way or the other getting everybody used to everything, accustomed to this. And eventually that's what, one way or the other, sooner or later, it will lead to the mark.